Morning, people. How's it going? Okay, so I came across a few interesting things with regards to kink. Is that with a few discussions, a few people believe that they're owed an obligatory thing and whatnot with regards to kink and life and their dynamic, and they feel like they owe somebody or are owed certain things, activities, even affections, in the way they're being treated. Realistically, no one really owes you anything other than to try and be open and honest in communications, because dynamics are different for any and everyone, and it's I guess a lot of people aren't really open and honest with themselves what they really want, or they have a fantasy about it and they've not really looked into what it all entails. They've looked into it enough to think, okay, this meshes with my fantasy, this is what it is, but they haven't looked into the reality of it. And in kink, there's lots of different variables and lots of different little things, such as you have people that are not submissive but they're bottom, or and it confuses some people, going, oh, but aren't they submissive? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing this? Because they're not a slave, they're a submissive, or they're not a submissive, they're a bottom. It's different in the way they approach things in their life, and what they really need. So the only thing for me is that to get in a relationship, the only thing you're owed is open and honest communication on both parts, which includes the dom. You should have open and honest communication with yourself, like know yourself, which includes knowing when you've convinced yourself into liking something and when you haven't, and then bringing that forward and telling your dom. If your dom is not interested in hearing it, then maybe you should look for another one. Or maybe being a submissive is not for you, maybe being a lifestyle is not for you, maybe you only want this every now and again because it suits you, your time, your space, your life, whatever. Very few people can rearrange their whole life to live this as a lifestyle. Some people think that, oh, I'm a natural this, I'm a natural that, and that's really totally crap. True submissives and doms, like at the very ends of the spectrum where they're only dominant and they're only submissive, very extremely rare. The fact that I see a lot of people say that I'm a true submissive, I'm a true dom, and all sorts of other stuff. I'm like, no, you're not really. And there's other people that says, oh, I'm a dom and I'm always a dom. I go, well, no, because you actually started life in this scene as a submissive, so no, you're not a true dom. You're not purely a dom or a mistress or whatever. In fact, there's been some so-called doms who've been trained by their submissives, which is fine if there's a dominant that is wanting to learn about what is natural and innate to them, not as somebody who's actually in my view is really a service top. Not a dom, not a master, not a mistress. They're really just a service top. And I find that highly amusing myself, but again, labels are labels, and what I think is the only thing you're owed in a dynamic, truly owed, is to have an open, honest communication. Some people on either side of the slash will try and shut you down with the, but doms have all the power, but submissives have all the power. I call red either, well, calling red's good, to be able to say, hey, look, this is not what I'm comfortable with, or talk about it. But calling and ceasing or shutting down conversations just because it's uncomfortable for you, just because you don't like it, to me, I'm like, well, are they really being open and honest with you in conversation? I mean, I've come across many people who get mislabeled in the fact of what they do and what they want, and they also get told by people, oh, this is what you're going to do, and it's like, well, no, because that's not what they are, that's not who they are. And there's quite a few people I know who are name chasers. They see something really cool, and they just want to be in the popular part with the in crowd, and these people are extreme, so I'm interested in this, and that fascinates me. Is it really the kink that fascinates you and being able to do the kink, or is it because these people garner so much attention that you want to get into that particular type of kink? I've had discussions with many people about what you're into, what was popular when you first came in, and do you really like it because that's what you first got exposed to and were introduced to? Have you tried doing without it for a little bit? Have you tried attaching that to another form of play or whatnot? And some people are yes, some people are no, some people are, oh, okay, it's not so much what I wanted, let's explore a few other things. So the only thing I think you should do is have an open, honest communication owed to you from both sides of the slash. Having those difficult conversations is not easy, and in those particular times it is as equals to me, not always as dom sub. There are times when I do discuss things with my owner, and we do that as equals. Decisions might actually be pulled rank on, or say, no, we're doing this. Okay, we'll just, as an equal, I'm bringing to your attention these things and state of mind, state of play, and what I perceive. Ultimately, though, I think what is not only owed to your dynamic, whatever that is, as bottom, top, sub, dom, master, slave, pet, owner, is that most importantly you have these open and honest communications with yourself, so that you can have those open and honest communications with other people in the dynamic. That doesn't mean that you blurt everything out. It means that you are more aware of who you are and what you're doing, and if it really is a role or activity that you want to do, how often you want to do it, what level you want to do it at, and if it's for you, it's for you. If not, no harm, no foul. It's a learning experience. That's what we get into this for, to learn, to explore, to test things out. A lot of it's trial and error, and just because it's an error doesn't mean it's a consent violation, doesn't mean it's a red flag, doesn't mean that it's all wrong. They can be, but it doesn't have to be. You need to look honestly at what's going on in the situation to really determine that, and that requires a lot of thought, a lot of work on yourself, a lot of work in the relationship and the dynamic. Anyways, I had best be going. I have a few things to do, and it is really cold. I keep forgetting to put my rubbers in the bed with me to warm them up for the day. Oh well, such is life. I'll just live with it, have those conversations with myself on being better organised and what my priorities are at this point in time. Okay, catch you guys later. Bye.